Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen of the World of Juice Hoops channel, and welcome to the series finale of this series, and probably the last NBA 2K22 video of the year. I don't know if we'll get any more Cavs or Thunder videos. I may just put out a video to wrap things up. That might be the best option. But this is the last actual video for the Flashback series. We got to 46 episodes. Can you believe that? That's crazy. 46 episodes of this series. We got 46 seasons deep into this NBA calendar. We're 46 seasons into 2K simulation. That just tells you how crazy this has gotten. But in this episode, we will go through the season. We will go through the final season. We'll do all that. We'll see what we can do in terms of winning a championship. We didn't win a championship last year. Last episode, we got bumped out in the first round by the Houston Rockets, who they said they were a 7 seed, but I don't really believe them. I don't believe that they were a 7 seed. They were not a true 7 seed. They had, everybody was 80 plus and really good, really talented. So I do not believe one bit that they were at all a 7 seed, and yet they came up and they clapped us. They really did. We didn't deserve to be there. They didn't deserve to be where they were spotted, and they beat us. They went on to the Western Conference Finals and got beat by the Warriors, but that's just what happens because the Warriors are real good. But in this episode, we will go through the league history. We'll take a recap of everything that we've done through 45 episodes and now 46 episodes. And we'll kind of discuss some of the best players of the entire series, some of the Hall of Famers, some of the greatest players of all time in this universe. So I hope you guys are excited. If you are, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let's get into it. So to start this final episode, we got to take a look at the final roster. We've got Tony Parker at point guard. He's been here for a while. We drafted him. He's been here all of his entire career, and he's been a very good point guard for us. He finally started to take over at point guard for probably maybe 5 or 6 seasons now, I think, is when he started to take over at point guard from who was our point guard before that? We had Ja Morant, but he never got to start, I don't think. He was always the bench guy. I forget who the point guard was before Tony Parker. We just drafted David Thompson in the draft last episode. He's going to take over for Devin Booker, who's now in the 6-man role. And Devin Booker has been here for his entire career. He is a 15-year pro. He's a first ballot guaranteed Hall of Famer. And he is one of the better players of all time. He's a 9-time champion, a 9-time All-Star. He's a first-team All-Rookie, third-team All-NBA one time. So, I mean, yeah, he's a bona fide Hall of Famer. He's been very consistent throughout his entire career, never dipping below 14 points his entire career. Never dipping below 15 points for a big-time stretch. Never dipping below 20 points for a nice little stretch there. So Devin Booker was a very consistent player. He led our team in scoring for most of his career, and he was a stud. Then we got Reggie Miller, who we did not draft. We've had now this is going to be his 4th season here in LA. We brought him in out of free agency because he was part of some of these teams that were absolutely dominant. He does have some championships, not with us. He has one championship, that 2059 championship. He won in Charlotte with Scottie Pippen. They were the duo that beat us in the NBA Finals. So that's a little bit of a downward spiral we took there a little bit. And then he went to San Antonio, and he had 3 years there, played really, really well, won a scoring title probably. And then he was in free agency again, and he was a little bit older. And I thought, you know what? You've only got one ring at this point. Why not sign you and let you ring chase a little bit? And he's been a very productive player for us. He even won 2 Finals MVPs in the 2 championships right here that we won. So he was the Finals MVP for us. So he's been a very solid veteran, older player that we brought in. Moses Malone, we drafted, I think. Yes, we did. It says he's 25 years pro. That's not true. He's not 25 years pro. We drafted Moses Malone. He never really panned out into becoming a great player. Obviously, he's played really, really well, but he never really became that guy. Boogie Cousins we got just last episode, and he averaged, as you can see, he averaged about 20 points per game with 9 rebounds and 3 assists, so he deserves to be the starter over Ralph Sampson, who I drafted at the number 2 pick thinking he was going to be the next guy. He's 7'4". In real life, he was a part of the Twin Towers in Houston back in the 90s with Hakeem Olajuwon. So obviously I thought, oh, he's going to be pretty good. But being 7'4", he never really rebounded like I thought he would. He never got over 10 rebounds in a season. And Boogie was doing that. Well, not 10, but he got 9 in his rookie year. So Boogie was out rebounding him. And then Zach Randolph has been a consistent guy his entire career. He's been here the entire time. We drafted him. And I drafted him to be like maybe a development guy. Maybe down the line he would replace somebody, but then just like things happened and he kind of got pushed down the depth chart. But he started a few games. If we go over to his games started, he started some games. The CPU has put him in. Yeah, he started 56 games last year, I think, because Moses Malone got hurt or somebody got hurt. He started 79 games a few seasons ago, so he's been in the lineup in and out, and he's been producing pretty well for when he's been in. So he's been a very good player for us. Byron Scott has also been pretty good in the time that he had. It was really last episode was really his first time actually getting some quality minutes, and he made the most of them. Then we talked about Ralph Sampson. Deshaun Stevenson hasn't really been given the opportunity, and that's on me because we just really drafted him just to be a role guy. He was never really going to become anything for us, so he hasn't been able to produce anything. Jamal Crawford the same kind of way. I expected Jamal Crawford to actually like do something, but being a 78 overall, he's just never gotten high enough to actually compete and actually produce on the court. So that's kind of a bummer for him. Evan Turner, we drafted last season. He got a couple minutes, but he didn't really do anything. Gerald Wallace has not played very much, and he hasn't really played a whole lot in his entire career. John Paxson, we brought in as just an extra point guard, I guess. And then Carson Edwards, same thing. We just brought him in to be like a ring chase kind of guy. So that's a little bit of a recap and my thoughts on the players that we have currently on the team. And there is one thing that we have to do before we start simulating, and that is to do the final wheel spin of the series. Unfortunately, now unless we get it on this spin, we never got the Shaquille O'Neal draft class, which is right here, 1992. So unless we get it in this class, we will not have Shaquille O'Neal in this series, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. We also never got 2017, which has like Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, those kind of guys. Obviously, 2022 has like Paolo Banchero, Chet Holmgren, the guys that got drafted just literally this past year. 2006, I think, has Andrea Bargnani, guys like that. 2011 has like Kawhi Leonard, Klay Thompson. So we never got those kind of guys in the series. 2012 has Anthony Davis. So, I mean, those guys never came in. So there's a lot of missed opportunities here. I will say that. A lot of missed opportunities. But we had some really cool draft classes, and we got the 3 main ones. We got 1984, which has Jordan, Barkley, all those guys. We got 1996, which has Kobe, Allen Iverson, all those guys. And we got 2003, which has LeBron, D-Wade, Bosh, Melo, all those guys. So the three of the considered the greatest draft classes of all time, we got all those in this series. And they've all long since retired by now. But we did have all those wheel spins or all those draft classes in this series. So that's good. We just didn't get Shaquille O'Neal. But let's spin this wheel for the final time and see what the final draft class is going to be. So 3, 2, 1, spin the wheel. What is it going to be? It's going to be... Oh, I thought I was going to speak it into existence. I really did. 1990. I really thought if I kept talking about it, I would speak it into existence and we would get the 1992 draft class. But we end up with 1990s draft class. Now, I don't really, off the top of my head, remember who was in this draft class, but we will be able to find out really quick. 1990. So let's see. This one has, no, that's not the right one. This one has 720. We might as well click on this one. 1990 class. Gary Payton, Derek Coleman, Mohamed Abdul Rauf. I think is how you say his name. So I apologize. Bimbo Coles, Tay George, D. Brown, Kendall Gill. It's not a great draft class. There's Arvidas Sankovic. I don't know who that is. There's Tony Kukoc. So that's pretty cool. But this isn't a spectacular draft class. Nothing really crazy here. Gary Payton's the best one in this class, obviously. Derek Coleman's all right, but Gary Payton's the prize of this draft class. And that is about it. I am going to... Actually, you know what? Let's talk about the team. Let's talk about the history of this league before we do the simulation and stuff. So let's go to NBA history, and we can start with MVPs. So if we scroll... We've done a lot of these, so let's scroll down to... All right, so 2021-2022 is the first season that we started. And obviously, we started with a bunch of bums in the drafts, or in the class. So Rush Chandler was the first ever MVP. Then we get an actual class, and we get Andrew Bynum from the New York Knicks wins MVP in the second season. Then we go on a little bit of a stretch where Chris Paul becomes one of the most dominant players. And it was looking like Chris Paul was going to be the most dominant player of the entire series. Then Wilt Chamberlain gets an MVP. Chris Paul gets it back the next season. Then our first MVP, Kevin Durant. I'm not sure when we drafted him. I think it was around this time, right in here. But he won an MVP soon after he came in the league. Charles Barkley takes it the next year for the Nuggets. Then Kevin Durant goes 2 for 3. 2 in 3 years, I should say. Chris Webber then goes 2-peat, back-to-back. And then we get Rick Barry's introduction into the league. And Rick Barry was the quintessential guy in the NBA for this universe. It was him and Chris Paul. Those were the two guys. They were battling in the NBA Finals. They were battling everywhere. They were the two guys. Then Kevin Durant sneaks in. We had already sent him away to Portland at that point. Rick Barry takes 2 more. Then Luka gets an MVP, which actually shocked me. I didn't think Luka was going to get one. Tracy McGrady gets one for the Mavs. Then James Wiseman surprisingly got one. I didn't expect that. Then Giannis goes on in absolute domination. And this right here is why Giannis Antetokounmpo is the greatest player in this entire series. Because he went on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight MVP run for 4 different teams. He won 2 for the Lakers, 1 for Grizzlies, 3 for the Warriors, and 1 for the Raptors. So I don't think you can have much of an argument on who the greatest player in this entire series is without mentioning Giannis Antetokounmpo's name, because he is an absolute utter monster. Like, it's crazy how good he was. And he was even good on our team. Like, that's something that you wouldn't expect, because at this point, we were having, like, a ton of players. Like, we were one of the best teams of all time. And he was still winning championships and winning MVPs on the Lakers. And then he went to Memphis for a season, went to Golden State for 3 years. That's when he teamed up with Luka, I think. I think Luka's on this team too. And then he went to Houston. Then Ben Simmons gets one. And then Giannis takes home another one. So he wasn't just fine with 7 straight. He wanted an 8th one. Then Antonio McDyess gets an MVP. Kevin Garnett becomes the dominant player on the Los Angeles Lakers. He gets 2. Then Reggie Miller gets his. Then Manu Ginobili gets 1. Kevin Garnett gets another one. And then David Robinson announces himself as the dominant player. He gets back-to-back. Then Zion comes into the league and he starts producing. He gets back-to-back. Then Manu gets another one sneaking in there. He stole Zion's 4-peat. Zion gets 1. Then Bob McAdoo gets 1. And then David Robinson just a couple seasons ago. And then last season was Scottie Pippen. So you can definitely see a trend here of absolutely dominant players. I'm not going to read off every single rookie of the year like I did, but we can quickly go through and see some of these rookies of the year and see who was dominating in the league. So we had Rush Chandler, which is the greatest player of all time. There was Wilt Chamberlain, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry won Rookie of the Year. We didn't win many Rookies of the Year because not a lot of our rookies ever started. The reason these guys won at the beginning because this was at the beginning, so they were leading the team. They were the only guys that were good on our team back then. So that's why we didn't win a lot of Rookies of the Year, because when we had rookies, they didn't really start, and when they did start, they didn't really produce like these rookies did. So there's your Rookies of the Year. You've got your Six-Mans of the Year. Bol Bol won 3 straight a couple years ago. Bol Bol was the dominant six-man for a while. And then we go to Defensive Player of the Year, and this is where it gets crazy, because Wilt Chamberlain absolutely owned Defensive Player of the Year until Hakeem Olajuwon came into the league. Then Hakeem Olajuwon destroyed Defensive Player of the Year. Then Tim Duncan took Defensive Player of the Year. Then Bill Russell had an absolute monopoly on Defensive Player of the Years. Jaren Jackson did steal one. Then Giannis takes home a few. Then Bill Russell gets a couple more. Then David Robinson, Scottie Pippen, more David Robinson, more Scottie Pippen, and more David Robinson. David Robinson, I think, is the greatest defensive player of the entire series because he has so many Defensive Player of the Years. Most improved players, and then the All-NBA teams. We don't have to go through this because it's going to take too long. Let's go to past champions. And this is where it gets fun. This is where it gets fun. So the first ever champion of the series is the Phoenix Suns. They beat the 76ers in 4 games. Donald Martin wins the championship. Then the Heat in 7 games beat the Warriors. Sixers get a championship, and then Chris Paul gets a championship. So this starts the Memphis Grizzlies three-peat of going to the finals, but they happen to run into Bob Boozer and the Detroit Pistons, and you'll start to realize that Bob Boozer was that guy. He was absolutely that guy, pal. He gets 2 straight. Then we get our first championship. It took us about 7 seasons, but we did get our first championship thanks to Kevin Durant. And luckily, we didn't have to go through Bob Boozer, because you'll find out later that it didn't work very well. Right up here, Oscar Blair gets one for the Kings, and then we run into the Detroit Pistons and Bob Boozer, and he absolutely wiped the floor with us. Then Vin Baker and the Thunder get one. Then we come back, and we get our second championship with Steph Curry leading the way. I think Kevin Durant was still there. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I think Kevin Durant was still there, but Steph Curry got the MVP. Then the Raptors win with Chris Webber. Then Chris Paul beats us in Detroit. So it wasn't Bob Boozer. I think he had already moved on to a new team. I think it was just Chris Paul. Well, they had other players, obviously, but Chris Paul was their best player, and he beat us. And then Brooklyn gets one with Rick Barry. Bob Love takes the Mavericks all the way. Chris Bosh takes the Nets all the way. And I think that was also Rick Barry as well, because he didn't leave the Nets for a while. Then starts our absolute domination. Here starts the 12-peat. LeBron, Luka, Kobe, Giannis, Dr. J, James Wiseman, Magic, Elgin Baylor, Giannis, and then that defeated because we lost in the Western Conference Finals to the Mavericks. So we won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 straight championships before losing in the conference finals to the Mavericks. Then Giannis gets another one away from us, like he got one on his own. Then the Mavericks get another one thanks to George Hill. Then Giannis had already moved on to the Celtics now, and he beat us. But then we come back and get our revenge now that we have Kevin Garnett on the team. And then we go 3-peat. Actually, we go 4-peat. So that adds 4 more championships. Then the Hornets had lost to the Golden State Warriors. But the Hornets get back, and they beat us. This is the Reggie Miller, Scottie Pippen year. Then we get Joel Embiid, and he takes us to 3 straight along with Zion. Then we get beaten in the Western Conference Finals by Manu Ginobili, and they win that one. And then we get 2 more straight just a couple episodes ago with Reggie Miller, and Manu we got jumped in the first round, and Manu wins another one with the Warriors. So let's count our championships. Why don't you count our championship with you? So we got 1, we got 2, we got 15 with these 13 championships right here. Then we got 16, 17, 18, 19. Then we got 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So out of the 46 seasons, now 45 seasons because we haven't officially simulated this. Out of the 45 seasons, we've won 24 of the championships. Think about that. That is absolutely insane. Here's all your scoring champions for the entirety of the series. We had Lou Williams actually won a couple scoring titles. Then Chris Paul, Chris Webber, Chris Paul again, Michael Jordan got one, Stockton. Chris Webber, you'll notice that Chris Webber in the early days was an absolute animal. Then Marbury, then Chris Paul got a couple more. Kevin Durant was in there. Peja Stojakovic, Larry Bird, Durant again. Luka went crazy in the Hornets. LaMelo got one. Giannis got one. Fred Brown, DeAndre Ayton, CJ McCollum even got one. Then Westbrook got 3 out of 4 with Giannis getting in there. And Tony McDyess, Wayne Embry, and then Reggie Miller started to dominate. And Reggie Miller has won not everyone since, because Gilbert Arenas and Bob McAdoo stole some from him. And then Gilbert Arenas again, and then George Gervin has won the last 2. So that's a lot of scoring champions. And here is the Hall of Fame. there have been some very good players in the Hall of Fame. We can go down to 2039. Okay, 2039 is the first Hall of Fame class. It was Andrew Bynum, it was Vin Baker, Bob Boozer, and Wilt Chamberlain. I don't think that's that bad. I think obviously those guys were all pretty good in the series. Obviously Bob Boozer was a little bit better. Then you got Penny Hardaway, Chris Paul retires and gets put in the Hall of Fame, Jamal Mashburn, Chris Webber, James Harden, John Stockton, Steph Curry, Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kevin Durant, Evan Mobley, Michael Jordan. Some of these classes were pretty stacked. Jalen Green, Steve Nash, and Sharif Abdur-Rahim. Evan Mobley again. 2-time Hall of Famer for Evan Mobley. That's just because he got glitched out a little bit. He didn't retire when they thought that he was going to retire. Cade Cunningham, Rick Barry, Kobe, Carmelo, Stephen Marbury again. Tim Duncan again, Abdur-Rahim, Dwayne Wade, Kobe again, Chris Bosh, Larry Bird, Chauncey Billups, Tim Duncan again, Jaren Jackson Jr., Trae Young, Tracy McGrady, LeBron, Shea, DeAndre Ayton, Luka, Trae Young again, Giannis, Spencer Haywood, LaMelo, Kareem, Anthony Edwards, Magic Johnson, Fred Brown, James Wiseman, Dr. J, Ben Simmons, Bill Russell, Artis Gilmore, Elgin Baylor, Derrick Rose, Brandon Ingram, Wayne Embry, Russ again, right? Did I say Russ already? I don't remember. Hal Greer, Kevin Love, Antonio McDyess, and Kevin Garnett. Yeah. There's a lot of 2-time Hall of Famers on here just because 2K gets glitched out when they think that somebody's going to retire, but then they just keep on playing. So they just put him in the Hall of Fame and then they don't retire. So then they just keep playing. It's kind of like the Ric Flair effect where you think he's going to retire, but he just keeps on wrestling. So then they actually do retire and then they get put in the Hall of Fame again for the second time. So they're 2-time Hall of Famers. Congratulations to them. I think that's a lot of talking. I've done 20 minutes of talking. I think it's time to simulate to the All-Star Draft and see how we're doing. I hope you guys have enjoyed a little bit of a recap here. And at the very end, I will go through some of my favorite players and who I think is the greatest of all time. So stick around for that. But if you want to see the All-Star Draft, I will skip to it right about now. We've made it to the All-Star Draft, and I did not think this team was going to be good. I thought this team was going to be pretty good, but we've already clinched a play-in spot. We're 52-3. This is the exact same team that we had last year, except for we added David Thompson. Is David Thompson really that guy? I mean, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. That's not team-changing in any way. We have Deshaun Stevenson also starting at small forward because I think somebody got hurt, it looks like. Where's Reggie Miller? Oh, Reggie Miller got hurt. That's right. Reggie Miller is injured for a little bit, decent amount of time, right? He has a broken leg or something. What's his injury? Oh, he has a pulled calf muscle. Okay, that's what it was. It wasn't as bad as a broken leg. But Reggie Miller is hurt, so Deshaun Stevenson is starting. But I didn't think, this team is the exact same as it was last year with the addition of Thompson. So, I mean, why are we so much better? I'm not 100% sure. But I'll take it. Only 3 losses. I'll take it. Start the All-Star Draft as Team Bob and Team Manu. Same usual suspects as always. At least Manu is. And Manu drafts Scottie Pippen, David Robinson, Jason Kidd, Corey Maggette, with Gilbert Arenas, Nikola Jokic, Darius Garland, Jason Richardson, Campy Russell, Elton Brand, and Antoine Jameson. And Team Bob drafts Walt Frazier, Zion, Baron Davis, Kenyon Martin, Cat, George Gervin, Kobe White, Moses Malone, David Thompson, Hedo Turkoglu, and Clyde Drexler. So we get 2 All-Stars, both on the bench of the Team Bob roster. And I guess David Thompson is just that guy. I guess he just is. If he's changing our team that much and only giving us 3 losses through the first half of the season, nobody else is really producing crazy numbers. I mean, Moses is averaging a double-double. Tony Parker is averaging basically double-double if you round up for him. Reggie Miller was playing well before he got hurt. Devin Booker was playing okay before he got hurt. Byron Scott was doing well. Boogie was doing, everybody was playing solid. It's just weird that you bring in David Thompson, and I know he's a 95, but still, he changes the game that much. He's helping us win that many games. I don't know. Who's leading the league in scoring so far? It is Bob McAdoo. No wonder he was an all-star. He's averaging 32 points per game and 10 rebounds, 10 defensive rebounds, 15 actual rebounds. And he's well-deserving. Probably going to take home MVP as well. What a final season. Can we win 3 games, or can we lose 3 games the entire year? That would be pretty crazy. But I'll see you guys at the awards to wrap everything up. The season is wrapped, and Scottie Pippen takes home another MVP. Another one. Should we give it to Bob McAdoo? Probably. Bob McAdoo probably deserves this MVP. Where's Scotty even at? Scotty finished... Wow, Scotty's really far down here. How'd they give him the MVP? What did he do? I guess he had a lot of blocks and stuff. I don't even really know what he did. Nah, Bob McAdoo deserves the MVP. Replace it. Yeah, Bob, congratulations. You're the MVP. Look at these numbers. These numbers are absolutely insane. You deserve MVP. Dan Roundfield deserves the Rookie of the Year. Well, he doesn't deserve it, but he wins it. Bobby Robinson is the Sixth Man of the Year. David Robinson is another Defensive Player of the Year. No shock there. Hassan Whiteside gets the Most Improved. Lonnie Newton is the Coach of the Year. I think that's us. And there it is. Mr. Juice. The final season, he gets another Executive of the Year. We'll go over my trophy cabinet, and we'll see all my awards. Here's the All-NBA first team. Walt Frazier, Gilbert, Scotty, Hedo Turkoglu, and Bob McAdoo. Second team is Jason Richardson, Jason Kidd, Kenny Martin, Zion, and Kat. Third team is Manu, Vince Carter, Antoine Jamison, Campy Russell, David Robinson. Here's all defensive first team. Here's all defensive second team. Here's all rookie first team. Here's all rookie second team. And we move to the playoffs. We won or lost 7 games the entire year because David Thompson is that guy. He really is that guy. Reggie Miller came back from injury and produced about the same as what he was doing. Tony Parker, same thing there. Moses Malone, Devin Booker. Everybody basically did a little bit of what they were doing before we simulated. Like at the halfway point of the season, they basically did that exact same thing through the entire rest of the season. And if we take a look at the actual league leaders, we kind of saw it when I was choosing MVP as Bob McAdoo. He kind of killed the league this year. He had a great season. He even shot well, like from the field. He did good. He deserved MVP. Scotty finished in 6th. I'm not as good as what Bob did. Not as good as what Bob did. So we simulate the play, and we're taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have John Wall, Quentin Richardson, Dominique Jones, Brian Skinner, and Bol Bol. Yeah, this is more of an 8 seed, 7 seed type. I don't know what that Houston Rockets team was doing in the 7 seed. They're back in the 7 seed this year. I don't know if they have the same team. I don't like it. I want the Mavericks to get through them because I don't want to match up with them because they could easily beat us. But we get through the first round fairly simple. We're taking on the Clippers, who have Mike Bibby, Avery Bradley, Lamar Odom, David Robinson, Dwight Howard. Okay, that's a much better team. I think we can get through them fairly easy since we've dominated this entire season so far, only losing 7 games, and now we haven't lost a single game in the playoffs yet. And we take on the Mavericks, who have Gilbert Arenas, Manu, Brian Scalabrine, Julius Randle, and Elton Brand. They have Brian Scalabrine playing small forward. That's crazy. But this team, we have history with them. We know how good they are. Let's see if we can get through them pretty quickly. They do take a game from us, but that should be the only game they take, and it will be. So we've only lost 1 game the entire postseason so far, and we're going up against the Boston Celtics, who have Kobe White, Eddie Jones, Richard Jefferson, Hedo Turkoglu, and Lauren Armstrong. They are also a 5 seed. I thought they were going to be a 1 seed, but they are a 5 seed, and we, to finish out this entirety franchise, wouldn't it be beautiful if we could finish it with a championship? Yes, it would be, because that's exactly what's going to happen. We are going to win in the Boston Garden. Oh, how sweet it is. We are going to win in the Boston Garden as the LA Lakers, our final championship. That would make it 25 NBA championships in 46 seasons. Can you even comprehend the greatness that we have produced here? In 4.5 decades, we've won 25 championships. That's actually just unbelievable to even speak out loud, the amount of dominance that we've had. Absolutely crazy. Eddie Jones going to drive to the basket. He is hurt a little bit. He's a little banged up. But with 6 seconds left to go, I wonder who's going to win Finals MVP. I would guess it's Reggie Miller, but it could be who led the team in scoring this year? I forget. But we are going to win a championship. Congratulations to us. We sweep the Lakers for our 25th.
We'd like to thank everyone for coming out and supporting the team.
Oh, to be crowned a champion on the road is something else. To win and to do it with a crowd that was so emotional and so into this game. You've beaten the team, and you've conquered everything that this great arena holds.
Yeah, it's a bittersweet moment for the home crowd. But our full credit to the victors and the amazing job they did to never lose focus or drive. And boy, this is the moment they've been working towards all season long. And even though
Ooh, the Staples Center is going crazy. Absolutely going crazy. And I'm assuming that the Boston Garden is not going crazy. Who's going to get Finals MVP? I'm not 100% sure. My guess is Reggie Miller, but I don't know. We've had think about all the different coaches that we've made Hall of Fame coaches just because they've been the coach of our team. We haven't really even needed a coach, but we've had coaches that have been Hall of Famers just because they've stuck around for a while. We've even had 2 female coaches win championships. 2 separate female coaches have won championships with us. Here we go. Who is it? Oh, it's David Thompson. So it really does make a difference. David Thompson has made the difference in this team. If we didn't have him, we'd probably get knocked out in the first round again. I'd have to say. 22, 9, and 3. Reggie had 19, 4, and 11. I didn't think that David Thompson would be that much of a difference maker, but he is. He certainly is, and he certainly was. Now, we will simulate to the draft, but the draft will not matter, really. Nobody really important gets retired here. Zach LaVine, probably not a Hall of Famer, maybe. 2-time NBA champion. I don't know. Probably none of these guys are going to make the Hall of Fame. None of them do. As you can see, there's no Hall of Fame things there. The draft lottery, we can skip that. We end up with the 10th pick, the 20th pick, the 23rd pick, and that's about it. So that is all we have. I'll go through the draft, but we don't need to draft anybody. I think I'll just trade my picks too, because it's not going to matter. It's not even going to matter, but I will trade the picks just because. So can I get 2 first-round picks for them? I certainly can from the Atlanta Hawks. Thank you very much. And then I'll trade the 10th pick too, because I don't really want that either. And if I can get 2 first-round picks for this, that would be ideal. Probably not protected, but I guess at this point it doesn't matter because it's the final series, or final season. Denver Nuggets, thank you very much. So we will go to the NBA draft, see who goes off the board first. I would guess it. Oh, I was going to say I would guess it's the glove, but it's Derek Coleman. Gary goes to Miami, so that's kind of funny. And that's the only 2 guys that we really care about. Very interesting. So both of them are 80 overall. Abdul Rauf is 76. Tony Kukoc goes number 8 to the Hornets. He's a 73. Rookie signings, we don't have any of those. Team player options, we'll bring those guys back. Free agents or qualifying offers, we'll offer those guys. Free agency, I'm just going to go and literally re-sign everybody that we can. Re-sign these guys just to bring back the exact same team. There we go. Do that. Then go to the Bird offers again and get Jamal Crawford. And then everybody can come back and everybody can be fine. So we'll do that, do that. All right, everybody should be signed to the team. It's not going to matter. It's not like we're playing another season. But everybody should be signed. So we have all 3 guys back. We have all the 4 shooting guards back. We have all our small forwards back, all our power forwards, and all our centers. Everybody's back. Everybody's good. We'll simulate the player progression just to kind of see what kind of player progression we have. And David Thompson goes up to a 96. DeMarcus Cousins is an 86. A lot of guys are regressing, like Devin Booker, Reggie Miller, but that's to be expected because they're getting into their mid-30s at this point. So it's not too much of a shock there. And now it's time to wrap things up. So I want to talk about our history of this series. As we saw, there was some pretty dominant players in this franchise. We had Rick Barry, Chris Paul, Bob Boozer, obviously like Kevin Garnett, Giannis. And if I had to say, taking into account everything that we've seen so far in this episode, in terms of most championships, most dominant players, like most scoring titles, just the most points per game, defensive player of the years. Like, this guy did everything. He won all-star games. He won championships, finals MVPs, scoring titles, defensive player of the years. He literally did everything. Giannis, in my opinion, is the greatest player of all time in this universe. And close behind him with an argument is Kevin Garnett. There is an argument to be made that Kevin Garnett is second, but also Kevin Garnett, when we let him go to another team, did not produce like Giannis did on other teams. Giannis was winning championships. Giannis was winning MVPs on other teams. Kevin Garnett kind of got stuck. Yeah, we sent him to the Atlanta Hawks team that had Jokic, but I thought that might help him out. Maybe we should have sent him to a team that had no other stars so he could prosper and be the best. Maybe that was my bad for sending him that way, but I mean, we sent him to a team that had Nikola Jokic on it, so I mean, I thought he would produce pretty well, and they played okay. He made some all-star teams. He did good in towards the end of his career, but he never got to the level that he was at on our team, and he certainly didn't get to the level that Giannis got to. So Giannis, there's a clear number one, and that's Giannis Antetokounmpo. Then there's a big dip off where it's Rick Barry, Chris Paul, Kevin Garnett, Bob Boozer, guys of that stature that absolutely killed the league. Luka, I mean, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, those guys killed the league for a while and dominated. Manu Ginobili's even in that category. Manu's dominated for a long time. David Robinson's dominated. Those guys are all in their own category, but then you jump up into a huge jump up, and it's Giannis, where he should be, because he was the most dominant player of all time, in my opinion, in this series, and he deserves to be the greatest of all time. So Giannis Antetokounmpo, congratulations. If you ever watch this video, just know that in this alternate universe, you were the greatest player of all time. So that's what I have to say on that. And to wrap things up, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this series. This was such a weird thing to start. I didn't really know how it was going to go. And then it kind of like took off a couple episodes, really got popular, a lot of views. And I was like, okay, people are enjoying this. So I kept going. I mean, it's an interesting concept. I can see why people were gravitating to it and were watching it, because it's very interesting. You just completely shake up the NBA with all these draft classes, and the wheel was pretty cool. So I don't know if this is going to return in season or in NBA 2K23. It certainly won't be at the beginning of 2K23. I don't want to just like end this series and then jump right back into a similar series in 2K23. So I want to kind of branch off and do some other stuff. I want to do a little bit of my career. I want to do a little bit of other franchise, other series, other rebuilds and stuff. And I also have a couple things that are going to be secret that I have up my sleeve that I hope you guys enjoy. I'm very excited about those too. I want to see how they do. So I have a lot of different stuff that I want to do on NBA 2K23 I'm excited about, and I kind of want to just let this series be what it was. It was a tremendous success. It was amazing. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. It was a fun time, and we got 46 episodes out of it, so 46 entire seasons. Like, that's something that not a lot of people do. Not a lot of people in Madden community, in the MLB community, in the 2K community, not a lot of people do one season per video, which is what I thought separated this from everybody else. So that's pretty cool. That's a little nice thing to have on there. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. You can go back and watch any episode you want. The playlist is down below in the description. Also, if you want to go check out any of my other two channels, the World of Juice channel is the main channel, and my Juice Baseball channel is the third channel. The main channel has a lot of Madden content on it, and the Juice Baseball channel obviously has a lot of baseball content on it. So if you like any of those other sports and other topics, and Madden and MLB The Show and all stuff like that, go check out those channels. See if you enjoy any of that. But if you just want to stay here and you're hyped for NBA 2K23, well then stick around, and I can't wait to go on this journey for this next year with you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching this series. I really enjoy it, and watching any series that I do on this channel or on any channel. I really appreciate it. I love you all. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.